The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Cindy, your daughter hurts herself and she's only 12 years old?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The first sign was Friday night.
Okay.
My older daughter and I picked her up from after a softball game.
Okay.
An away game at school in the early evening, and she was sitting in the back seat, and we asked her, how was your game? You know, how was everything? And she said she had a terrible game. She was tagged out on her first hit. She so-and-so, and then she missed a fly ball, and that was it. She said, I squeezed my hand so hard that my hand hurts me right now.
Okay.
I squeezed my fingers so hard that my hand hurts me really bad right now. They're swollen, Mommy. And I said, why would you do that? Why are you hurting yourself, Dominique? Because otherwise I would be screaming and screaming like a maniac.
What if
because I'm so angry at myself.
Honey, what if you found some other ways that didn't involve screaming and didn't involve squeezing your hands? I can give you some ideas that I've used over the years that have helped me deal with that feeling when I feel like I'm so angry with myself.
This is what I'm going to tell her?
Yeah, I rolled right into a role play as if I were you.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing is there is very good news, because when I first heard your call, when I first heard the subject of your call, my daughter hurts herself, I thought, oh my God, this has been going on for a long time. Maybe she's cutting herself. Maybe she's banging her head against the wall. You know, kids do a lot of things when they're in pain. Maybe it's a sign of physical or sexual abuse. What it sounds like, and maybe your daughter's not talking to you and it's a cry for help, what I'm hearing is that you caught it so wonderfully early on, Cindy, and that she's talking to you. She's telling you everything that's going on, so you don't have to question all of those horrible thoughts. Like,
just a minute, Doctor. I want to tell you a little bit more. I think that this is something that's progressing. I'm her mother.
Okay.
Her and I have had a lot between us in the past year plus.
Yeah.
I'm recovering alcoholic.
Okay.
For
how long?
I've been sober for over 2 years now.
Okay.
But there was some damage I know I have done.
Okay.
And that's my huge concern, that, and my marriage isn't the best.
What's going on?
She senses that.
What does she see in the marriage?
Well, we don't we don't argue or fight in front of her, but I'm sure that she's picked up on things.
Okay, so she's dealing with a lot of anxiety, and parents don't typically realize it, but when mom and dad are fighting about sex, or they're fighting about finances, or they're fighting about just who's going to do the dishes, guess who tends to blame themselves?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Guess who tends to blame themselves?
The children.
Kids. They may not hear the word sex, but they think, oh, I didn't make my bed this morning. Or, oh, I gave mommy a dirty look. It's all my fault. My parents are breaking up, and it's because of me. And, of course, parents a lot of times kick the dog, they call it. But they take out their frustrations with the other spouse on their kids. You know, they're irritated. Do the dishes now. And, and you're not so much irritated with your child, but you're irritated with your partner. And when that happens, kids do blame themselves. So one of the wonderful gifts you can give kids is you lovingly to just say, Daddy and I, you hear us fighting occasionally, and my guess is you hear things I wish I didn't hear. We want you to know it's not your fault, and it has nothing to do with the dishes, or it has nothing to do with XYZ, that it's an adult issue, and help frame it that way for her.
Okay.
And if you've done damage in the past, first of all, an amazing congratulations to you, because 2 years sobriety is wonderful. And if you've done damage in the past, I would get yourself the parenting book if you're not already aware of it. It's what I call the gold standard of parenting. How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk.
How to Talk.
So, yeah, it's on my website. Just go to drkenner.com and look up drkenner.com and look up How to Talk. And you can also, I've written a book with another author, Ed Locke, The Selfish Path to Romance, and that means self-valuing. It doesn't mean manipulative selfishness. It means self-esteem, self-respect, and cherishing your partner. Now, you may be headed towards a divorce. I don't know. You may not be. If you're not headed towards a divorce, or you may not know, there's we have a whole section on how to keep a romantic relationship going over years. It's already been a decade for you. How to resolve conflict. There are healthy ways to resolve conflict and not. If you're thinking of divorcing, then we have a very good section in our appendix, How to Part Ways and Start Over If You Cease Being Soulmates. And part of that is introspective. You need to figure out what's keeping you in a bad relationship, an unsatisfactory relationship. What are the reasons you're considering leaving, tying all the information together, and then talking with your spouse about it and creating an atmosphere of respect as you're moving forward. But that is beside the point. Let's get back to your daughter, because we just have a minute left here. So if you can, she does talk to you, even if she's pitching it at this point at...
Doctor, excuse me, since we only have a minute. She's very angry at me. She's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Sometimes she loves me and she'll hug me, but most of the time she calls me names. Stupid, retard.
Yeah, you need those parenting. You absolutely need the parenting books, the parenting book I mentioned. Because what you need to do at those moments is counterintuitive. Most parents say, don't you ever call me that again, and we get angry. Instead, we need to say, honey, you're so angry with me. Can you tell me what's bothering you right now? You learn to draw your child out when you're being attacked. Instead of counterattacking, try to get the data. What is driving her anger? And if she says, because I'm afraid that you and Daddy are going to break up and I won't know who I'm living with, or I'm angry with you because you used to be drinking, let her talk about it. Listen to her. If you can become a top-notch listener, you will love yourself more. You will make more connections with your daughter, and her need to start acting out will be reduced, and you can give her more civilized ways to express her anger. Those are in the parenting book. Listen, thank you so much for your call, Cindy, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tyndall.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance by Dr. Ellen Kenner.
There is no problem with sex before marriage, provided one genuinely cares for the partner and practices safe sex. We obviously don't condone mindless sex, divorced from any valuing of the partner. Why not? Because it won't have any personal meaning. In summary, although the sexual capacity is given to you, knowing how to enjoy it, whom to enjoy it with, and whether it should be enjoyed is not self-evident. Such sexual knowledge is not instinctual or innate, as is evident with the widespread sexual problems so many people experience. You need more information about the nature of sex and how to enjoy it. There are hundreds of books and videos showing many ways to enjoy sex. These can be helpful, but they are not the whole story, and in our view, not the most fundamental part of the story.
You can download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com, and you can buy the book at amazon.com.